Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding by the AFTERBIRTH. Last run, it was so easy. Even an infant, even Dan could have beaten that last run. 6TR27314. Well, let's not go crazy. This one, on the other hand, starting a little spotty, but nothing to actually be afraid of right out of the gate. Now that we have a Spirit Heart, at least. I mean, we got one of the, I wouldn't say it's one of the best starting items, but it's got to be in like the top, 2 or 3% of starting items. When I say one of the best, I just mean like, I mean, you'd rather start with Mom's Night Brimstone. Is it top 3? Probably not, but it's around that vicinity at the very least. And that's Death's Touch. So we got piercing shots that do a little bit of damage, but it has compromised our rate of fire slightly. We got bad HP, but, a Spirit Heart goes a long way towards making that functional. And, 2 more Spirit Hearts helps out even more. Although I got lulled into a false sense of security and took damage as a result. We'll probably, indeed, go to the Curse Room. Yeah, the Curse Room. I was like, what was the name that I made up for that room again? That's right, it's the Curse Room. I'll tell you, in the realm of decent spacebar items, Mom's Bra, drumroll please, is one of them. I would say that this is exactly fine. It's a pretty good start. Last run started so average, and I was like, actually, it was normcore, and I was for it. I was having a great time. Yo, that's extremely good. It was like 3.5 damage, 10 rate of fire, a little bit of HP. We were loving it, but I do appreciate a run that's starting in a more interesting dynamic, in my opinion. Dim Bulb kinda sucks, in my opinion. It's usable, but it's not nearly as good as his older brother, Vibrant Bulb. Yo, well worth it. Well worth it. Can I hit you with a controversial thing? And I want to preface it first. It's not actually controversial. And I want to preface it again by saying that I didn't like, and you can find videos of me saying this. I'm not embarrassed. My opponents will have you think that I'm embarrassed by this, but it's not true. People change over time, and I think that's an important part of, becoming an adult. You can find quotes of me saying, I don't really like pasta. I don't really like noodles. It's true. Until I was probably right around my mid-20s. So, 100 years ago. I didn't respect noodles. You ask me a question at a restaurant, do you want that with rice or noodles? Madam, don't make me laugh. Do I look like I want it with noodles? Don't you see my thick-rimmed glasses? I'll take rice. The grain of a scholar. I've grown to like noodles. And it was not necessarily an instantaneous love affair. I started eating real restaurant ramen instead of instant ramen. I don't look down on instant ramen. It kept me alive on many a Saturday and Sunday morning in South Korea. But, I had restaurant ramen, and I was like, hey, this is pretty good. These noodles you've been talking about, they kind of got it going on. And then from there, it's not exactly the same thing, obviously, but, I try a little bit of pasta. Try some spaghetti. I'm like, it's not really for me, to be honest. Try a little bit of penne, and I go, oh, now we're talking. Penne is good. Now I'm a pasta fiend. You give me a penne, a rigatoni, a rotini, a gnocchi, a spaghettini, a linguine, any, I want it in my belly. But for all of the noodle work I've done in my life, there's 2 noodles I can't get down with, and people always look at me like I'm a crazy person when I tell them. Well, there's 3. I don't really like spaghetti that much, but we don't need to go down that road. I just think it's, if you like spaghetti, that's cool, but it's one of my, at least like spaghetti, what's the word I'm looking for? Bolognese, spaghetti bolognese, one of my least favorite pasta dishes. Don't shoot the messenger. However, The other two are Soba and Udon. Soba, I'm like, 50-50 on, but Udon, I cannot abide for whatever reason. It's just the noodle's so thick, it soaks up so much of the soup, and I know that's part of the deal, but for me, I'm just like, it's such a wet noodle. And you know, don't people say that? Like, don't be such a wet noodle. There's a reason it's made it into the idiom dictionary as not a great thing, and that's because it's not a great thing. Well, I'm not trying to police what anybody else eats. Okay, I'm willing to go one more half spirit heart down. That's it. I can't go any further. If we go any further, we deserve to lose. It's that simple. That was obviously a disappointing floor. But the fact that it's a disappointing floor is not that relevant when you consider our, how overpowered we were at the start. Plus, we had that incredible noodle bit to keep us going there. Don't hit me again. I hate this room. Okay. Take it. Yo, that's not a problem. The main benefit, honestly, of being at 1 HP is knowing that you're always going to be, like, absolutely okay to take whatever pills come around. I mean, I guess with a Spirit Heart, we could get a bad trip, but... Yo, we keep getting keys that refill our HP, or refill our spacebar item. I'm extremely pleased. Honestly, yes, absolutely. If we can't beat this boss without, taking enough hits to compromise the run, then maybe we don't deserve to be having such a prodigious streak as 2 wins in a row. I never thought I'd see the day. We might have a higher active win streak in Gungeon than we do in Isaac. Very fitting, because this is a very Gungeon-y sort of boss fight here. And I gotta tell you, for you, it's probably been a couple of days since you thought about this. For me, it's been an hour and a half. Where you going for tomorrow? Yeah, it's still stuck in my head. Literally every 2 seconds in my head. And I feel it, yeah. That's not the rune you're looking for in that exact situation, at least. But, alright. This floor, again, turned out to be fine. I do appreciate the HP. HP is one of those things, it's a necessary evil, We would rather have something that more immediately impacts our run. But we also don't want to die, so that puts us in a bit of a complicated situation, where we should just say thank you for the sustenance. It's a weird one, because Attack Fly is definitely good, and it's probably good enough, but if we buy a bomb, for example, we could maybe make it into something a little bit more meaningful, but it does cost us some money. Now we don't need to buy a bomb. I gotta think about it, because I think I mean, obviously we buy Blue Candle, it's a big damage bonus, but I think I would rather buy Mom's Key and then keep our spacebar item just because it's more interesting. But we're 1 cent shy of being able to make that happen. So what we're gonna do instead is take our bomb. I've lost the item room in my mind. Oh, dude, that's huge. Thank you. It's funny. Maybe we should just buy some Spirit Hearts instead of worrying too much about what we got going on there. Just don't blow yourself up with this bomb. That would be the ultimate embarrassment. Pause button plus orbital is pretty interesting. Don't shoot me, please. I do appreciate the money more than you could ever imagine. Interesting, but without an orbital. Not that interested. This is just 5 bombs in my world. Sissy Longlegs is, again, fine, but I would say not good enough. And we ended up with Bolitar. I would probably rather have the Attack Fly, but I'm not salty. We took the opportunity to try for something better. Were it not for... Ooh, that's interesting at the very least. We got a Spirit Heart out of it, which is really what I wanted, but Were it not for the fact that we got a health downgrade, I would have probably / definitely bought whatever the heck that item I was originally going to buy was. I believe it was called Mom's Key. We'll move along here. You just... I don't know if you've ever experienced it. I've only experienced it a few times, but getting a song stuck in your head that you sang, yo, let's leave. It's a bizarre feeling. It might not be that bad if you are a good singer, but if you're let's just say you got work to do on singing, then it's a very strange feeling. Mostly because whenever I get songs stuck in my head that I sing, it's always just like literally one part. It's never like, and I mean, I guess that's true for all songs people get stuck in their head. Like very rarely do you get a 3.5 minute song stuck in your head, right? You always just get like one hooky part, you know, gang, 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 gang. First things first, I'm the realist. You know, you get the... Or maybe from Fancy by Iggy Azalea, you might just get, let's get drunk on the minibar. That's like, I can relate to that. I'll go to bed, dude. I don't like Iggy Azalea's music, except for Fancy. But I think Fancy, it slaps to a high degree for pop music. And, you know, maybe Charlie XCX is to thank for that, but... Please. Look, you gotta... One of the things that I want this, you know, channel and this series to do is lead you to reconsider some slappers from your past you may have overlooked. I'm guilty of it. You know, a lot of times you listen to some songs that come out, and because of your beliefs and your attitudes at the time, you don't respect the song as much as you should. Like, for example, Ray of Light by Madonna came out when I was 12 or 13 years old. Thought it was garbage. Why did I think it was garbage? Madonna was old as dirt. She was like 38. Why would I listen to my parents' pop music icon? I already got my own pop music icon, Lance Bass, the third, now second, most notable member of NSYNC. You listen to Ray of Light. I don't like Madonna now. She's old as dirt. But you go back and listen to Ray of Light, it's a slapper. And I feel like I just got home, and you know, it's a good song. Same with another classic that has been disrespected, but will be disrespected no more. Steal My Sunshine by Len. One hit wonder, originally loved the summer of 1999. I know, because I was there. And then considered a time capsule of, you know, a very particular time in pop music history, and written off kind of in the same way like Eiffel 65 was, because of the fact that it seems like a novelty song. Not a novelty song, just because it's a one-hit wonder. Actually, a borderline classic that slaps to a high degree, in my opinion. I don't, you know, maybe you were out there listening to Opeth back in 2004 or something, and you're like, well, you know, I don't listen to Hey Ya by Andre 3000. I don't listen to that sort of stuff, okay? I'm listening to Opeth right now. You should go back with a sober mindset and appreciate Hey Ya. In my opinion, one of the best, you know, pop music songs of our lifetime. Maybe you disagree, maybe not. You know, that's not for me to say. Sorry, I got really frightened there due to the curse. No. Okay, so we're not going to get a good item from this boss. We'll get an item that in theory could keep us alive. Thankfully, Dark Prince's crown is actually worth something. And no deal! Howard Mandel, have you lost your mind? I will say there's a lot of lyrics in Fancy by Iggy Azalea that don't make sense to me. I ain't in the murder business. I can hold it down like I'm teaching lessons in physics. What does that mean? Is that holding things down requires gravity? You know, what does that mean? I can hold it down like I'm teaching lessons in physics. You should want a bed like me. Okay, fancy. Genius. That's right. I'm Iggy Azalea fancy. I can hold you down like I'm giving lessons in physics, right? In most introduction to physics classes, students are taught about the force that holds us down here on Earth, i.e. gravitational force. Iggy is such a massive personality that she holds her fans down. Musically, this means she takes care of us, keeping our thirst for entertainment quenched through her music. Azalea is a ride-or-die chick. She'll have your back and hold you down, like gravity holds us all down. Incredible. Who would have thought? Meanwhile, you go look up SparkNote's interpretation of Albert Camus' The Stranger. It's about existentialism. You look up an Iggy Azalea lyric. Here's an essay from a PhD-holding listicle writer. I love this world. I'm not even messing about. I can hold you down like I'm teaching lessons in physics. Look, Australia, you gotta... look, Men at Work, amazing band. Also, like Len, overlooked because they've got one novelty song. Well, they got two novelty songs, maybe. One of them is Down Under, which is not a novelty song. It just happens to come across like a novelty song. And then the other one is Who Can It Be Now, which seems like a novelty song, but isn't. It only seems like it because it's got the saxophone going on. By Australia, you've contributed some amazing musical artists, but you got a lot to atone for with the career of Iggy Azalea and also Keith Urban. I just, look, Canada brought you Nickelback, Justin Bieber. Can't deny that. Avril Lavigne, Simple Plan. How could this happen to me? Yeah. Sum 41. Okay, you know what? I've convinced myself. Those in glass houses should not be throwing stones. Yeah, but we also brought you the Arcade Fire and Wolf Parade. And a lot of bands that released like 2 good albums in the mid-2000s and then disappeared. I'm sorry, Australia. I shouldn't be taking shots, you know? We're in this together. It's you, New Zealand, Canada, Wales, and Scotland against the UK and America. Wait, I don't know where am I phrasing this? It was meant to be like, you know, the smaller members of the Commonwealth against the larger ones. But then I thought about it and I was like, dude, don't take us the wrong way, Australia. But you don't get underdog status. New Zealand gets underdog status because, you know, they have a neighbor who is much larger than them. Canada, the United States. New Zealand, Australia. Scotland, England. So Australia, you get out of this conversation. That's right, Kiwis. We're putting them on blast. Think, if you don't mind, I'm just going to keep like walking around in a circle. If you're cool with that, I'm just going to... It's a really engaging part of Isaac when this curse applies, in my opinion. I think it adds a lot to the game. A lot of people disagree with me on that one, but those people are honestly just objectively incorrect. Is it a spirit? It's not a spirit. It's a Joker card. They said the Joker was a wanted man. What was our pill? Not relevant necessarily. Dude, I'm tempted. The hangman brings you no luck today. I'm tempted to use the Joker immediately, but we know we're getting to deal with the devil no matter what. Is this the... This is Depths 1. Oh my god, we've been walking around for like 3 minutes here. Please, I beg you. Edmund! Thank you. You freed me from the prison. That's another song. Dude, Let me, you know, in the there's the Guardian of Misfit Toys. Is that the metaphor I'm looking for here? Gotta consult the metaphor dictionary, the metaphorus. Can't fly, so be careful. I will be the patron saint of bands that are hated but actually have one good song, so that I pop into every conversation and go, I know that they're bad, but actually they have one good song. And speaking of My Own Prison, Creed is just an awful band, in my opinion. But My Own Prison, from the from the similarly named 1997 album certified 6 times platinum, My Own Prison by Creed, is an actual genuine slapper with real emotion that the band definitely, in my opinion, lost sight of on their rise to meteoric superstardom. Court is in session, the verdict is in. Ooh, no appeal on the docket today, it's just my own sin. You know, that's, I cried out to God seeking only his decision. People stand that confirms that I created. Look, if you haven't listened to My Own Prison, go check it out. I think we're willing to give this a shot. It's got a really good part where Scott Stapp goes, I created, ×4. Okay. We gotta be delicate. It's a very bizarre assortment of items we've gotten here. Like a deal with the devil consisting exclusively of the Bible is, at this point in my Isaac life, is just a slap in the face. Come on. Hey, after you beat Mom, there's a 33% chance you'll get an item that allows you to beat Mom just by pressing the spacebar item. Hey, that's not fair, NL. It also gives you the ability to fly on once every 3 rooms. Run! I didn't know how long I could tough it out there. How is it, did I do this to myself on today's run? I'm looking at it and I'm wondering, I'm like, how did it go so, awry? Oh, you know what? We did screw it up, by taking, well, I don't know if we screwed it up. That's kind of not, it's more nuanced than that, okay? Yo. But what I was gonna say is we did ruin our Dark Prince's crown. But why are you not frozen? You're just slowed because you got hit by a bomb or juicy ball of tar. That's it. Anyway, I wouldn't say I'm offended. That's a little too far, but I'm just surprised. I just think it's funny that, you know, despite starting out so well on today's run, like, now we're back in that same sort of mired in mediocrity situation that we've been in, well, not last run. Last run was dominant, pretty much front to back, but you know what? Chaos might have been a problem for us on this run, but it's far from over. I would just really, really, really like to get a tiers improvement on this floor. And some kind of, like, reliable source of HP would be pretty sick. And I was kind of hoping that Gimpy would be that. Oh, that's why we got the Bible on the deal with the devil, is because of chaos. No appeal on the docket today, just a Bible deal. I'm just saying, it slaps harder than Creed gets credit for. Everyone gives credit to Mark Tremonti. Nobody gives credit to Scott Stapp. He's got one good one, okay? Leave Scott alone. It's very Canadian. Leave Scott alone. He may not be your bud, but you can just take off. Please. It's pretty good. Okay, we got a lot of keys. I appreciate that it is good, and also it could contribute to greatness in the future. This is a second secret room. Locked down. Tears down. That's real bad. Health up. That's very good.
Question.
Oh my word. Well, the good news is we actually got a Tears upgrade. Thanks to the HP upgrade, we get Dark Prince's Crown. The other good news is that I have an eidetic memory. As a result, I know exactly where I have to go, brother. I'll tell you, you think a curse of the I don't have a map can get me? I've been driving around downtown Vancouver -1 SD card containing all of our navigational systems as a result of the fact that it was stolen in an act of petty crime last year. Oh, you want to get down to Waterfront Station? That's easy. You're gonna need to go, crap! There's no joke. The joke is that there's no joke. The joke is I forgot that you just drive around in a big old circle. Tell you, you know, the internet was already convenient when I was a teenager as compared to what it was like, you know, for my parents, for example. But it's way more convenient now. Ever tell you, like, in high school, after I got my driver's license, I went out on a little one-on-one movie situation with a friend of mine. I don't know if you would call it a date. It was, well, it was probably 2000. It was like 14, 15 years ago, so I'm not too invested in the outcome, okay? But the thing is, I was a little nervous. But I was driving us both to and from the movie theater. I thought I was like the portrait of a modern man in the year 2005. I printed out from Mapquest the directions from our houses to the movie theater. And then like tri-folded it like a brochure and kept it in the cup holder in my dad's car. And back then, you know, my parents, they were like, what do you got there? And I was like, it's the directions. And they're like, oh, this kid's internet savvy. It's amazing how, you know, within 15 years, and to be honest, if you had done this even like 7 years ago, people would be like, what are you doing? But, so within like 10 years, it went from like, I printed off the directions online to like, why would you print out the directions? Just look them up. Inevitably, there's always going to be one person watching this, by the way, who's like, and I know because I've been doing this a long time, who's like, I still print out directions. What if I lose cell phone connectivity on the way? Well, you know, you can just take a screenshot of your phone. My phone doesn't have that capability. I doubt that very much, good sir. I'm just, you know, you can print out the directions. I'm just saying it's a more antiquated way to get the job done. My parents don't do that. Like, they will look up directions, like especially if they're in a different city. They have a navigation system, right? Because it's the 21st century. But you know, when we're in my hometown, they never look up directions for anything. And I realized the way that the older generation gets around is not necessary. And I don't want to say this like a negative thing, but it's the way that New Yorkers get around today, where they just know like 10 streets, and then there's like almost like an algorithm they follow. It was like, well, that's to the west of us, so you're gonna take this boulevard, and then you gotta pivot here because there's construction on that road right now. So you go down this, and then you just kind of drive until you see it. There it is, Counter Street. They're above using the directions, and if you suggest they use the directions, they scoff at you. They live in this place my whole life. Then all of a sudden, they're going eastbound when they need to be going southbound. And they're like, when did they change that? Dang old construction back in 1986 made this road run in the opposite direction. I'm a strict fan of the navigational system. I do feel, and I still, you know, you're in a Shoppers Drug Mart or something like that. They're still selling maps, but the map industry has suffered a great deal. Oh, we gotta check. Wow. The map industry has suffered a great deal, I feel, since the rise of navigation systems. And honestly, like, it's for the best. It's a better use here. Nobody's going, you can't bring Google Maps to my city. We have to protect the Rand McNally Atlas industry. Those people spent their whole lives learning how to make atlases, and Google's rendering them obsolete. How am I supposed to make a living as an atlas maker when they're releasing better atlases for free. Anyway. That's me talking to the Game of Thrones showrunners after I steal their entire audience with my incredible discourse and also world building. Please, stop spanking my bottom and giving me swirlies. I need that lunch money. That's me getting bullied by the Game of Thrones writers because they're stronger and more successful than me. But you know, you'll be in a gas station or something, you'll see a map. It's like Vancouver, Lower Mainland, Fraser Valley. You know, who's buying those maps, dude? You really want to, you're going to chart a course on a piece of paper like you're Christopher Columbus crossing the ocean? Doesn't make any sense. I will say, the one example that always comes up is people go, not everybody has data plans. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fair. But what if you took the money you were spending on maps, and instead of spending it on maps, you spent it on a data plan? Because clearly, like, somebody is still buying them. It's like the yellow pages, right? Like, somebody's still using the yellow pages because they keep making them. But who, and I guess the answer is people that are probably old enough to not be watching this video, but okay, I'm begging you, game. You've done some great work for me. You know, recently you've left me in a good spot, but not a spot that's unassailable when it comes to victory, and that makes for an engaging run. But you know we're getting Cuban meat here. Just give me a deal with the devil with a funky yet good item. Like 2 HP for 1 HP. Give me something interesting. That's fine. I mean, it was a 1/3 chance, so I don't really want to, you know, act like it was that bad. There was a curse room, but I don't feel comfortable going to the curse room, thank you very much, because of the fact that, you know, we don't have a ton of HP. Want to make sure we're staying abreast of the overall situation here. You know, we have the ability to get more HP thanks to the Satanic Bible and all that, but still just doing our darndest to stay in front of the situation. What do you got? Is it a... Okay, you got a judgment. It's very interesting. We also have feels like I'm walking on sunshine, so we should take advantage of this. Don't give me HP. Of all the things you got available, don't give me HP, dude. Well, you know, be careful what you wish for, I suppose. Alges? Dagaz? It's not that bad. I'm gonna hold the Emperor card for now, just because I think I would much rather skip all of the Cathedral. No Cathedral on the docket today, it's just a chest. So I've been listening to a lot of music that came out between the years like 1994 and 1998 recently, and I gotta tell you, man, was I born in the wrong generation. If I had been born 1 to 2.5 years earlier, man, I could have really appreciated that stuff. I mean, yeah, I was there when it was getting played on the radio, but I didn't. Let's get out of here. I didn't really appreciate it. I was too busy listening to Sharon, Lois, and Bram. And Raffi. Raffi wasn't part of the Sharon, Lois, and Bram band, but I'm just, that it was like a comma end, like an Oxford comma. He was around. He's a contemporary of Sharon, Lois, and or Bram. Is my opinion. Deal with the devil. Well. The only thing frustrating is not that it's a bad run. The thing that's frustrating is that we've been at the same damage stat. Yeah, I knew it. I was like, please go the other way. We've been at the same damage stat since like the 2nd floor. That's the only thing that'll grind your gears in this world. Is, you know, it's not the place that you're at, it's the trajectory you're on. Now, obvious, Curse of the Lost is really cool and fun. It's one of the most fun curses involved in Isaac. I have to blame myself. Sorry, we barely got out of the way of that one. I have to blame myself a little bit for this situation, because if we had not taken Chaos, it stands to reason, potentially, our deals with the devil would have been in a more consistently beneficial spot, but it's worth keeping in mind. Just gonna say, yeah, well, that's a very disappointing way for that to end. Dude, we're on a bad streak, and this one should have been good. Oh well. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And I'm slumping. I'm slumping.